Hey there, welcome to the College Investor Audio Show. So glad you're here today. And we take a look at 529 plans today. Ownership Rules Explained. First, just want to remind you, head on over to thecollegeinvestor.com. There you're going to find so much amazing resources. Everything about money, basically. Anything from side hustles and side gigs, ideas, there's over 100 of them there for you. So you can start earning some extra bucks. Tax software, 529 plans, of course, and more. Oh, tons of stuff at thecollegeinvestor.com. Also, follow us on social media. We'd love to get to know you and answer any questions or concerns you might have too. Just search for The College Investor and you'll find us. All right, let's dive right in here. 529 plans. They offer a dedicated way to save for education costs. Well, generally, parents, grandparents open up 529s to kind of build up a war chest, if you will, for the beneficiary to eventually use on college or some other costs for education. Since the primary contributor to a 529 isn't the beneficiary of the account, the ownership rules kind of feel a little bit murky. So, today, we get clear on the 529 plan ownership rules in this guide. First up, let's take a look at those ownership rules, shall we? The account owner is the person who opens a 529 plan. Although anyone can open one to save for future educational costs, typically either a parent or grandparent opens it for a particular child. But adult learners can also open a 529 plan to save for their own educational endeavors. Maybe you didn't know that. Notably, 529 plans usually only allow a single account owner. If you're married, this means one spouse maintains full legal control of the account. If the couple divorces, the spouse who retains ownership of the account can actually withdraw the funds. Can I change the beneficiary? Of course you can. It is possible to change the beneficiary of a 529, just like anything else, really. Generally, this involves a bit of paperwork from the plan's administrator, but the new beneficiary must fall within the IRS's specific definition of family members, and let's take a look at those. The beneficiary's spouse, child or grandchild of the beneficiary, brother, sister, and step-siblings of the beneficiary, the father or mother of the beneficiary, a stepfather or stepmother of the beneficiary, a niece or nephew of the beneficiary, an aunt or uncle of the beneficiary, any first cousin, a son-in-law, daughter-in-law, father-in-law, mother-in-law, brother-in-law, or even, you guessed it, a sister-in-law of the beneficiary, the spouse of any qualifying individual that was listed. Can I change ownership? So whether or not you can change ownership of a 529 kind of varies state from state. In some states, you can change the owner of the account under certain situations. For example, if a couple is divorcing, that might actually open the door to changing the account's owner. But generally, it's possible to set up a trustworthy successor account owner. If the original account owner dies, ownership of the account can be passed to that designated trusted successor. Who can contribute to this account? So when you open one up, you can make contributions into the account, of course. It's also possible to allow others to make contributions to the 529. For example, maybe an aunt might make a planned contribution as a birthday present, for instance. Although the contributions are definitely appreciated, the new contributor isn't going to gain any control over those funds. So there's that. Who can make investment decisions for a 529? Account owners have the ability to make investment decisions for this account. But beneficiaries and maybe some other interested parties? No, they cannot make investment changes within a 529 account. What actions can a beneficiary take? As the designated beneficiary of a 529 plan, you are not expected to make contributions to the account. However, as you progress through high school, it's kind of often a good idea to keep the owner of your 529 account informed of your plans, right? Since the account owner is likely a parent or grandparent, they will likely be excited to learn about your future plans, of course. Well, for example, let's say you plan on attending trade school. That could be significantly more affordable for one, and probably a better plan anyway, in the grand scheme of things, which means the plan owner might be able to stop tucking away more funds. Alternatively, you might plan to attend a private school, which may or may not be within reach of the 529 funds. So discussing your plans ahead of your schedule can help you avoid uncomfortable surprises in the future. It's important to realize that the account owner can choose to remove funds from the account at any time. For example, they might decide to divvy up the funds between you and some other siblings. Generally, you'll need to have the account owner withdraw funds for qualified expenses, although they might choose to move the funds directly into your bank account with the expectation that you'll use the funds for school costs. They could also choose to send the funds directly to the school. 529 custodial accounts. If your account owner set up a 529 custodial account, there's kind of a slight twist here. In this case, the account is managed by the owner until you reach the age of majority in your state, usually 18. After reaching the age of majority, the beneficiary can assume control of the 529 plan and use the funds as they wish. After gaining custodial control, you usually cannot change the beneficiary, but you can make withdrawals for qualified expenses. The bottom line, opening a 529 account is amazing. It's an excellent way to set aside funds for a loved one's educational pursuits. But before you dive into opening one, make sure to read the fine print of your state's available 529 offerings. Once the account is open, do your best to hit your 529 savings goals to fund future college costs. That is our show for today. There are a ton of resources on 529 plans at thecollegeinvestor.com. Take a look at it. You'll learn something new. We hope today's show was helpful. If it was and you think that somebody else could use this information, please feel free to share this with anybody. We would greatly appreciate that. Again, follow us on social media, search for The College Investor, and you'll find us. Thanks again for stopping by today, and we'll talk to you again real soon.